Whenever you're ready, Augie.
Okay.
Would you all please rise for the pledge? I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We do have a quorum. Andy Patrick is not here today, but he will be at our meeting on Wednesday. I'd like to ask for any public comment at this point. Oh, that's under a different part. Okay.
Okay.
I thought you had official stuff. This is just general public comment.
I think.
I would consider it both,
Fall
to be
underneath
honest,
that.
but
Go ahead then.
Okay.
What the heck? Sorry.
That's okay. Good morning.
Morning.
My name is Josh Bennett. I'm deputy with the Sheriff's Department. The reason I come to speak today is to make the board and the Edgar County residents aware of staffing issues, the Edgar County Sheriff's Department, and how it impacts this county. I've been in law enforcement for 28 years. I've been part of this department for 3.5 years. While I've greatly enjoyed this role, I have some serious concerns about the staffing levels within our department. We currently have 2 full-time day shift deputies, 4 full-time night shift deputies, 1 deputy off on workman's comp, and it's been for the last 10 months. We have 1 chief deputy and 1 sheriff. We have 3 part-time deputies that do routinely pick up shifts, but do have full-time jobs. It makes their availability somewhat limited. We've been very lucky to recruit 4 deputies from our department from other law enforcement agencies that were already fully trained for this job. They just had to learn our system. What that means is they've already completed PTI and were certified with the state of Illinois to work. Our county covers 624 square miles. Right now, we typically have 1 deputy that works Monday through Friday day shift, with our chief deputy for backup when he's not involved in administrative duties. We attempt to have 2 deputies on the weekend day shift, but at times work with 1 deputy. We have 2 night shift deputies the entire week. I think everyone in this room is very aware how long it takes to travel from one end of the county to the other. Additionally, if you are the lone deputy and you need assistance from another agency, it can take 20 to 30 minutes before someone could arrive. The most recent event started with a very routine call for service as a person trespassing on private property, and the owners wanted that subject to be removed. During the day, this example of call would typically be handled by the 1 day shift deputy. This day, Chief Deputy Smith heard the call and determined he was available to go for backup on the call, as he was not engaged in any administrative duties. Everyone is aware of how this call played out. After the incident, the deputies attempted to contact dispatch with their portable radios and were able to get signal out. They were unable to get signal out. Chief Deputy Smith had to leave the scene, run to his car that was staged several hundred feet away, and use his in-car radio to call dispatch. The ending could have been much worse with 1 deputy on scene. A few months ago, I was dispatched to a location for a domestic problem while on day shift working throughout the week. While on this call, Chief Deputy Smith was taking a stolen car report. Sheriff Wood was following up on a hit-and-run incident. I responded by myself. I ended up with 1 person in custody and needing 2 ambulances to transport the subject and 2 victims of the battery to the hospital. After arriving at the hospital, sitting with the suspect, it was determined that this was more than a battery and ended with an attempted murder charge being filed on that suspect. I sat with the suspect for over 4 hours and could not leave due to them being combative and uncooperative. Due to lack of manpower and no current investigator, we could not secure the scene or collect any evidence at the scene, which resulted in a plea deal with a lesser crime. Another incident I would like to share happened a few years ago when Chief Tom Dolan of the Chrisman Police Department responded to Metcalf to assist this sheriff's department. A 911 call was received for a domestic battery in progress. Chief Dolan was closer than the 2 deputies that were on duty. When Chief Dolan arrived, he was immediately confronted by the suspect and a physical altercation ensued. During the altercation, Chief Dolan lost his radio and ended up on the ground with the subject pinned, and he was unable to get to his radio to call for the assistance. He called out to the bystanders and requested they call 911 to say he needed immediate assistance. No 911 calls were received, and the bystanders used their cell phones to record the incident. Deputies did arrive and assist with taking the suspect into custody, and Chief Dolan ended with a fractured foot during the incident. The last incident I'd like to share happened when Chief Deputy Smith was a lone night shift deputy. He received a call to Kansas for a domestic problem, which ended with the suspect fleeing the scene and crashing his vehicle. It was determined by Chief Smith that the subject was DUI. He took this subject into custody. While still on the scene, he received another call for a traffic crash with injuries on the Lower Terre Haute Road. He was able to transport this person to the county jail, where he was left with correctional staff, and then he responded to the traffic crash. Chief Smith was unable to complete a full DUI investigation, which resulted in the suspect from the original domestic to not be charged with all aspects of his crime that night. It should be noted that an average DUI investigation can take 2 to 3 hours of continuous time, therefore, would make a deputy decide between completing a DUI or responding to another call for service. Since we do not have a full-time investigator, we have had to turn multiple possible sexual assault cases over to the Illinois State Police to investigate. We have had several burglaries that we were unable to investigate properly with no full-time investigator. The coroners and the state's attorney's office have both recently stated that the Edgar County Sheriff's Department needs a full-time investigator, which we are currently not able to offer due to our staffing issues. This situation not only highlights how our staffing is impacting our county, but I would also like to point out the potential for safety concerns for the deputies involved in these potential life and death situations. Every one of these situations could have ended very differently with officers being injured. We've been very fortunate up to this point. Knowing the staffing levels and the situation that we may be placed in by ourselves can significantly impact our ability to recruit new deputies to our team when needed. We currently have one out on injury, and he may not be able to return to full-time duty. 2 that are ready to retire at any moment. We do not have a large pool of candidates to pick from. There is no backup plan for how to handle staffing when people are unexpectedly out or if they would retire. The board did work with us last year to help make our salaries more competitive in the market, but we still have several hurdles to get over to fill these gaps. Our insurance premiums are still unaffordable if you need to insure your loved ones. Staffing a whole county by yourself is overwhelming and scary at times in today's society. To help improve our deputy safety and to be able to effectively investigate crimes, we should hire a full-time investigator and staff the road with 2 full-time deputies at all times without having to rely on our part-time. Thank you for your time.
Any comments or questions? We will, do you have a copy of that?
Yeah.
If we could have, please. And we'll have a committee meeting and at least discuss, no promises, but we will take your concerns to heart, okay? I think many of us are aware of the situation, and we're just gonna have to get creative somehow to figure out what we can do, yeah? Thank you, gentlemen, and little one. Thank you.
I guess I have one question. You were the full-time investigator, right?
Correct.
But now you're doing a little bit of that and working a shift on the road during the daytime?
Correct.
Yeah, so I thought.
Any other questions, guys? We do thank you, though, appreciate it. Do you have, would
Your
you like
report?
to say?
Your reports are in front of you. We ended December with 191 911 calls, the exact same as we did the December previous. We ended 2024 with about 80 less calls than we did over 2023. All of our times remained within contractual times. Transfers, we had 6 emergent and 51 non-emergent. fire standbys, 40 there. We did have about the same amount of no transports, and our classes and students taught increased in the month of December. You can see by the report, we had a total of 71 classes and 518 students. Our mutual aid intercepts were down to 3 this month, and 6 public relations events. Ended our year with our quality metrics, should recognize us in AHA for gold status on our stroke and STEMI care. Their second page is where your 911s were transported. Any questions on December stats?
Folks? Do you have any other comments, Samantha?
No, Lindsay, I'll have my annual report.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Philip, do you have anything for us this morning?
I do not.
Augie, do you have anything for us?
No.
Dan, do you have anything for us this
Yeah, we
morning?
had a animal meeting last week, Andrew passed out sheets here. You have one, I got one. Yeah.
I have one.
Yeah, one.
Thank you.
Top of the page is the ESDA building that she has divided up into how she's gonna have it done. She did build a wall. I don't know if you've ever been in it, has a great big room in the middle. She built a wall in the middle to kind of divide it up, so. If you look at the adoption room, people can come in and can find out the animal is friendly or not, so that room divided up. Quarantine, if they like bite somebody, quarantine them, so that she has a room for that. Medical room, she hopes to get somebody, I think from U of I, and they send a student down to do the spaying and neutering, so she's gonna equip that room for that purpose. And then she has her office, new office, a washer and dryer, bathroom, and utility closet just for this and that, I guess. She is having a little trouble with the new employee that she hired from Chrisman. He tends to go home early and not doing the job that he should be doing. So what she wants to do is to put him to simply cleaning the pins. That would be like maybe 6 or 8 hours a week, and then hire another person to do a lot of the computer work and paperwork that she doesn't have time to do. I know Linda's working about 8 hours a week, and that's about all she has, so she's actually kind of overworked. She's changing the adoption hours, so it's had more time for people to come in and to attempt to adopt the animals and spend a little time with them. I didn't understand the shop clinic spay and neutering program, but I think that's the one that she's working on with U of I, University of Illinois. And then she's gonna do more school education programs, so.
Yeah, the U of I comes in, or wherever she makes the agreement, several times a month, and that those dates are identified so that
Right.
folks that are interested in having a discounted rate for the
Right.
process, they'd be available.
Yeah, she still has full house, and 36, I think she said she had last week, wasn't it?
34.
Yeah, almost 40 of them
Yeah.
animals, yes. I don't know, she does the best she can with what she has, but I don't know, Carl, I don't know if you heard any rumors or anything out there since Linda works out there, or anything going on, so. I don't know, it just kind of a
You
mess.
talk to your sister. That explains that then, doesn't it?
So, that's where we stand right now, so.
So
Doing
does
the best, she's
this,
doing the best she can with what she has.
does this free up a fair, because I've not been in the existing building, does this free up a fair amount of room in her current
I
building?
don't think so.
No,
That's a
No,
pretty
it
small
doesn't free
room
up
she
hardly
had
anything.
crammed in.
Oh,
you ever been in her office?
No.
And it's about, size of the bathroom in there.
Mm.
And it's full of animals, like she has a Siamese she's had for years, stays in that room. She has a hairless cat that keeps coming back, that's in that room.
Up for adoption.
Up for adoption, yeah.
It's
So
a pretty
she just
big-
doesn't have a room at all. It's really
There's
small.
a couple dogs in there.
Pardon?
Last couple weeks ago, there
Yeah.
was 2 dogs in there also.
Yeah, the room's about, maybe about the size of, not even big as
Half
Aaron's
of
Lost
Half of
office.
his office.
Yeah.
Mm.
So,
Well, this
This
sounds
this
like
is gonna be a
wonderful.
lot better,
wonderful
a
update.
lot better, right? So, but, trying to find somebody out there is just almost impossible. The one she hired, she thought was gonna be good, but he's a retired military and he has some problems, so he doesn't stay around there long.
I'm sure people think they wanna play and love on the kitties and puppies, and that's just not the
Mhm.
actual
Right.
job.
I had a call last night, somebody wants to get rid of a cat, what do I do? I mean, that's not my job, but I'll try. I'll do the best I can. You need another cat? Okay, all right. That's where we stand. Any questions? She does a great job. We lose her, we're gonna be in trouble.
Russ,
I don't know anything.
you and Carl wanna talk about anything from the meeting last Thursday? Kind of a little update or anything? It was all pretty straightforward, right?
Pretty
They're
straightforward,
gonna
yeah.
start doing some stuff again here soon, so,
I'm supposed to know more
this week.
this week. They're gonna do some clearing
Right.
and look at, start working on the foundation
Right,
for the walls.
right.
Have to redo them, is that what they have to do? Or move them or something?
Pieces,
Pieces.
pieces of them.
Are you guys aware of, have you had any status on this jail project or anything?
We've heard what's going on, but, I mean, short of,
Well, obviously, they haven't done anything for, what, 3 months, 3 or 4 months, and it's obviously concrete problems. And they've been trying to come up with different solutions to fix that problem, and they're kind of figured they're just gonna go in and replace all the bad places, and what is there, 50 or 60 of them?
Jesus.
Places that are bad. So they're trying to figure out how they're gonna go about doing that and when they're gonna be able to do it because of the weather and everything. So it's obviously pushed things back a little bit for completion date. But I asked that specifically the other day, you know, before we were talking, I think June or July completion, obviously that isn't gonna happen. I said, well, when is it gonna be? He said, well, we don't really know for sure, but I'm sure it's fall, at least fall, hopefully by the end of the year, this year, if everything goes right. But they're coming to a solution on how they're gonna fix the problem finally. And whenever they can proceed with that, that's the next step.
Thank you, Carl.
Yep.
Phil, do you have anything?
No.
Lisa, you're up.
I have a resolution in the packet, which we've talked about for quite some time, and I just haven't gotten the resolution put together. So this is to support Frontier's efforts to obtain federal and state funding for the broadband expansion project. They're still the only entity that has reached out to me, and you might remember I'd said that Terry Sullivan, who's involved in this process for our region, had said that there were others that were interested, but, and he knows that they just need to reach out to me, and nobody has, so they're still the only game in town. But their point of contact for me stays in pretty frequent communication, and I have appreciated that, and I don't have any reservations on having Jeff sign the resolution on our behalf.
Okay, any questions on that? The agenda's pretty short, if you've noticed. There's just a couple items, and this is one of them. I have been able to, were you done? Don is spending a fair amount of time in the office now, and we're proceeding finally back and getting back on the road for the audit and getting caught up. We were behind by a couple months, so we're getting there.
Does he kind of have an assistant to help him when he's not there?
Yes.
Good.
Yeah, and he has, he could be hooked up at home, but he hasn't done that yet,
Okay,
so at any rate, that's,
that's good.
yeah, he's doing better, so hopefully, things will get squared away and they're meeting, with the audit firm here, I guess, later on this week. He may have them do a little bit more to help get caught up, like to handle the accruals from last year. In other words, stuff that needs to be charged till last year. so. Any other things up for, yes?
I have a question, Matt. This is just a point of knowledge. Because our neighbors across the state line had mentioned they have 27 auxiliary deputies, which I know that's not part-time, totally different topic. When do we use them other than for the fair?
So in Illinois, there's Illinois and Indiana are different as far as what you can utilize as an auxiliary officer. So we had auxiliary officers at one point in this county. The state of Illinois has now made it to where the certifications and qualifications that an auxiliary officer has to have are the exact same as a regular part-time officer now, which is several hundred hours of classroom, online, and then the part-time officers or auxiliary officers are also held to the same standard as far as mandated training and everything every year. So I don't know why anybody would ever want to do it.
What you're seeing is at the fairs, actually, the
Well, I was
combination of
thinking-
police.
Yeah,
We have no
Sheriff's
auxiliary officers
Okay.
anymore at all. And then, yeah, we have like, 3 or 4 part-time guys and then the other officers that the other personnel that we use out at the fair were courthouse security guys and correctional officers who are allowed to be out there as a body, but they're not even allowed to carry it when they're out there in that capacity.
Thanks.
Yeah,
Sounds
in-
good in theory, but in
Indiana's
reality, it's
very fortunate in that aspect of that.
But when you think about it, what these guys are wanting is backups that you can count on. I mean,
Yeah.
right? I mean, and somebody who wants to play sheriff's deputy a couple times, I don't make fun of them, but wants to
No,
play
I completely
sheriff's
agree.
deputy is not what you need,
Right.
right?
Especially not in today's
That's what I mean.
society.
So, back in Barney's time,
Yeah.
well, I mean,
I mean,
but it's seriously, it is not what we're looking for.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
It's a
not what
different
you're
time,
looking
and
for.
even through the state, I mean,
Right.
you're held to a very high standard now.
Yeah.
20 years ago, you could call Joe Blow, your neighbor down the street, and have you do something, but now that's just a huge liability. I mean,
Right, and even the
lawsuit would
folks that
be-
we look to hire, you guys have gotta buy, I mean, you guys have to trust each other.
yeah, we've only got 2 field training officers, I think, me and you, or yes, I guess Chief Deputy Smith is a training officer as well, so we have myself and him, and, a typical field training is 3 months, and so I'd have to do it a month and a half, and he'd have to do it a month and a half, and then you're taken away from the administrative duties he has to do, so, I mean,
The new deputy, how long has he been here?
July?
So he already went through his training.
Yeah, of course, he
He
had
was,
already,
he was
He
certified.
was
was
already
already
certified, but
certified,
still,
so-
I think we're gonna do a certain amount of training, weren't you?
yeah,
Yeah.
I trained him, or,
Yeah.
yeah, myself and another deputy trained him, but
Yeah.
he didn't do the full 3 months, cause
Yeah,
he had already
knew.
been certified,
Right.
and it was just learning the different laws from Illinois to Indiana and vice
Right.
versa, so. We were fortunate enough to get him, so that was great, but we need 3 more of them.
Okay, Augie, do you have anything?
I do not.
Okay. Anything else to come before the meeting this morning? Have I missed anybody? Hearing none, I'd entertain a motion to, yes,
One more, I forgot.
that's okay.
Kim Ross sent me an email a few minutes ago regarding our opening on the Board of Health.
Yes,
And Mary Liz Wright had expressed interest.
okay,
She
And
did a good
that's,
job. She would do a
that's
good
the
job.
only person that I'm aware of who was interested.
okay.
Who's leaving the board?
Scott Ingram resigned.
Who?
Scotty
Scotty.
Ingram.
Oh, okay, okay.
And then we still have Bobby Morris that would like to get off the
of
708,
HRC, yeah, 708.
HRC.
Just term up or just,
No, he
Quit.
just, well, his term will be up, plus he's just ready.
He's been on the board longer than most of these people have been on earth that are in this room.
no, they haven't been on board that long. Not as long as I was. No comment, huh?
I'm not talking health board, I'm
Okay.
talking 708
Oh, okay.
board. Now, motion to adjourn.
So
Russ moved, Dan
Before she says
seconds.
something else.
All those in favor signify by saying
Took
aye.
Andy's place.
Opposed, nay. We are adjourned.
Somebody